Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome in today for the 46th episode of the Podmons podcast. I am your host, Char J, joined in by my co-host to my left or right, whatever you're looking at, Luke.
How's it going, everybody? You're gonna notice that this is gonna be pre-recorded because us and our guests will be at Star Wars Celebration. So this will come out Thursday night. Same time. It's gonna be we're gonna have a fun time talking about Maul right now, but we'll be in the middle of the first day of celebration. We'll be doing Disney stuff on Wednesday, but we didn't want to do a live show while we were doing it celebration. There's just a lot going on. We got
it would have messed up a lot of our plans
too. And also when this comes out, the final match of the trivia tournament between Mandalorian and Element 7 will have come out. So be on the lookout for that. And another reason why we're not doing an episode live is because we will be recording the championship match between Darth Chaco and Element 7. So be on the lookout for that after celebration. That will come out after celebration. So that's where we're at right now. But I'm doing great. I'm so thankful for our two guests that are going to be here. They're both recurring. Char, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
You never would have made it as Obi-Wan's Padawan, but you might make it as mine.
And we're back. So our first guest today, he is no newcomer to the Podmons podcast. Both of our guests today have competed in our Star Wars trivia tournament, and our first guest is none other than Kris at Starwarslawyer.
Greetings and salutations. How's it going, everybody?
You didn't say
that's my line. That's my line.
I got yours with the greetings and salutations, and I got yours with how's it going, everybody. I got both. Just bringing it all in.
I'm good, Kris. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited that by the time people see this, we'll all be at Celebration.
And we will all be together.
Yes.
Come together.
We'll all be fighting each other
right now.
I don't know.
We're not fighting. We're not fighting each other. It's gonna be more of just like big bear hugs.
Orchestrated because of just like us bantering over this past year. It's just ridiculous.
I'm so excited.
You're like, when I see you, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
No, yeah, you're gonna whoop my ass.
But it's just all fun and games. I'm excited to see all of you and
it's gonna be great. Kris, where can the good people follow you?
Star Wars Lawyer. I am Star Wars Lawyer on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter.
Awesome. Thanks again for coming on. You're one of my favorite people to talk to. You're one of my favorite people in the community. You know that. You're the homie. I appreciate you. But let's bring in our next guest.
So our second guest today, she is known as the owner of Far Far Away Factory. She is also another competitor of the Star Wars Trivia Tournament, our Star Wars Trivia Tournament, of course. Brooke at Bedazzler.
Happy Saturday.
Kris, your intro just got fucked.
Oh shit, that is funny.
That was perfect.
Timing was spot on.
Listen, after the last month that I've had trying to cram for Celebration, I need this.
Hey, I will say she's pulled off a lot of projects to get to this point. One being these awesome shoes that she made me, just to get a nice little look. These are amazing. These are what I'll be wearing to Celebration and to Disney when we are out there. This is probably my favorite side of a shoe. So I'm gonna pull up the banner now. Brooke, do your plug.
farfarawayfactory.com. Or my Etsy is still up as well. I do lots of Star Wars and Marvel and some other franchise fandom fun things, all inspired because they're things that I love. And yeah, so clothes, jewelry, stickers, you name it.
She also did stickers for us, and she did those shoes for Kris, which Kris will be twinning at Disney. So excited for that. And this is where I got this sweatshirt, and she's got some more stuff coming out for Kenobi. So I'm very, very excited to show these all off at Celebration. And yeah, guys, go check out her stuff. Brooke, where can the good people follow you on social media?
TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram is all @_BDazzler_. I should be getting back into Twitch again once all the festivities of Celebration are over. I have KOTOR to finish. I'm playing Spider-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy hopefully afterwards. So
awesome. Well, we are here to talk about Darth Maul. Darth Maul's Ascension
That
arc.
character.
Episodes. So technically, I will put this in season 5 because we'll be done with season 4. Yes, these 2 episodes, the first 2 episodes of this arc are technically in season 4, but we'll just lump it in. This is going to be the first episode of season 5. So excited to talk about it. But the icebreaker question, because we always have an icebreaker question before we start the podcast. It's simply, what's your favorite Maul moment?
Does it have to be like?
It can be from anything. It can be from anything.
Even in real life.
I guess you meeting Ray Park could be one.
Okay, way to just say it. Okay.
spoilers.
Yes. So I guess I can just go first now. So yes,
we're
in
not
Celebration,
editing that out either.
in Celebration 2019, I got a photo up with Ray Park and Ian McDiarmid because it was the 20th anniversary of the Phantom Menace. So I got to meet Ray Park, the martial artist behind Darth Maul.
Kris?
It's a tie for me between the Siege of Mandalore, him talking with Ahsoka specifically, and then his reappearance in Twilight of the Apprentice.
Yeah, I would agree. Those are 2 really good moments. Brooke?
My favorite moment is in the last episode or second to last episode of Clone Wars, where Ahsoka, like after they've been through the whole thing and they lock him up, she breaks him out and is like, "Go cause chaos," and he's like, "I'm good at that."
No, yeah, seriously,
I love it.
Those are all really good, but honestly, for me, it's got to be dun 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 dun. His first introduction, like not first introduction, but like the before he starts
the Duel of the
fighting,
Fates.
yeah, the Duel of the Fates. I remember watching that as a kid because that was my first movie I ever saw in theaters. So it was like seeing that was just like, what the hell? But yeah, I'm so excited to start getting into season 5 of Clone Wars because season 4 is really when it starts to ramp up. And season 5 just keeps it going, and there's a lot of good arcs in this season. But Char, is this a long one? Is this a long one or a short one?
Let me look it up.
Because you know what I'm gonna ask.
You want me to do Gilbert Gottfried? I know.
We don't want it. We need
Here.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
I
right?
will pay you to do it.
Yeah, how much you want? We can just
Let's see,
start
wait, I
making
have-
it.
Right. Hold on. I've
Start
got
making
60
it.
I got
Start
I got
making it
60
rain on you, like boom.
I have
boom,
$8.
boom,
boom.
boom. boom.
Come on. Give the people what they want. Give it.
You know, let me check the second one and see if it's shorter.
Oh, dang it.
Actually, the second one is shorter. So
Okay, fine. At least we get one.
we'll do the second one. Okay.
All right.
Now, you have no idea how draining it is to read all that in that voice.
It's legend status.
It is
No-
legend status.
No pain, no gain, Char.
It takes a lot of energy to do that. It does.
All right, go ahead, Char. Tom Kane.
Okay. All right. Season 4, episodes 21, Brothers. A darkness awakes. Count Dooku's bitter betrayal of his former apprentice Asajj Ventress resulted in the creation of a new menace in the galaxy, Savage Opress. Caught in a deadly game of revenge between Ventress and Dooku, Savage barely escaped the carnage. Beaten and alone, he returned to Mother Talzin, his creator, who gave him a new quest to pursue his long-lost brother.
All right, good job, Char. So the moral, it doesn't have a moral. We didn't do morals, so we're just gonna go with questions.
I mean, it is
Okay.
Darth Maul, so I mean, what morals are there?
Yeah, there are no morals. Okay, so Savage shows a great degree of loyalty to his brother. What does this say about the Zabrak culture and about Mother Talzin's influence?
I mean, so we know that the Night Sisters clan, they're all pretty loyal to each other.
Mhm.
And so the Zabraks being the other half of that culture show that to that degree as well. But I think we have such a small sampling size, but it looks like Savage is just trying to find someone to show the same loyalty that he shows to everyone else,
Yeah,
which is why like every slight seems like a betrayal to him because he wouldn't do that to them. And he's kind of like a lost puppy in that way, a lost Sith puppy.
well, and I feel like Ventress is kind of like that as well.
Mhm.
I mean the arc that we talked about last week, the bounty hunter, her becoming one of her own. You definitely see that a ton. But Brooke, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I would say that all three of them, Savage, Maul, and Ventress, are all kind of like outliers. Because every other time you see all the Night Sisters, they're very faithful to each other. Even in Jedi Fallen Order, Marin is still like incredibly faithful to the Night Sisters, despite them all being gone. We see the Night Brothers in that game are all like still working together to protect their area and stuff. So
Yeah,
I think, I mean, it's still because they grew up in that. Maybe not as much Ventress because she left so early to join the Jedi, but Savage grew up there. So I think him feeling some sort of loyalty makes sense.
yeah. What do you think Mother Talzin's influence has on it? Like, do you think it's just the Zabrak culture in general, or is it heightened because Mother Talzin does have that influence? And either one of you can answer that question as well.
Dathomirian culture at large seems to be extremely matriarchal, so they're just going to, abide by what Mother Talzin says since she's the matriarch of the clan.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say like even as powerful as Talzin is, like she was, one of the only people that Dooku and Palpatine were even potentially afraid of. So
Yes.
it doesn't seem like she, rules with fear or anything, but I'm sure that is a contributing factor in some way to Dathomir.
No, yeah, absolutely. Chart, your thoughts?
Well, on Dathomir, I put this in quote unquote, the witches are the bad bitches. And the Zabraks are kind of like the lower tier. They don't really get as much influence as the Night Sisters do. So the Zabrak culture is like they're warriors, they're proud, and they have honor. But at the same time, they are afraid of the Night Sisters because one, they're extremely powerful, and two, they have a lot more influence than they do because they're essentially just they're I would just say they're what's the word I'm looking for? They're lesser than them, I would say.
Subservient.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'd say, yeah.
subservient. Yep,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Char, can you say that one more time? What you started off with?
So on Dathomir, the witches are the bad bitches.
Someone clip that. I need that clip. I need that clipped.
Don't worry, I think I can send it to Harith and he can cut it, or
I
can
think
cut it.
it's a good motto.
So when Jedi Fallen Order 2 comes out and Brooke is playing it, that needs to be a sound.
Yes, that needs to be a sound.
So
Yes.
every time
Hell
Marin
yeah.
comes up, it could just be said.
I love it.
Okay, clip it again. Say it again, Char.
Oh, okay. On Dathomir, the witches are bad bitches.
Can you imagine that? Brooke's just playing,
Every time.
and then click. You heard that? Oh my god, I love it. Good
I
job,
mean, he's not
Kris.
wrong. It's an accurate statement.
Yeah, it is. They are. Especially Mother Talzin. She's just incredibly powerful. But on to the next question.
I'll ask it. No, it's the second question.
Go ahead.
So the second question is, both Anakin and Dooku sense something dark within the Force. It is a testament to both of their powers and their connection to the Force. What does this say about the power that Maul and Asajj have? What does this say about their futures within the galaxy?
I think, and Brooke and I talked about this a little bit yesterday, that Yoda sensed it too. And it's just kind of like, all right, y'all kept saying that the dark side has clouded your judgment or your ability to use the Force. Yet here y'all are sensing things were, well, at least with Anakin, it was like right there. With like Dooku and Yoda are just on the other side of the galaxy. And it's just like, all right, maybe it's just because this is something so different than the normal like war and everything. But it's just kind of like, Yoda, I think you're full of it. That's what I'm going with. You doggone frog.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's fair. Brooke, your thoughts?
Yeah, I guess because the Clone Wars primarily is disconnected from like the Jedi and Sith, like the Force connection or whatever, because you've got the battle droids versus the clones, and like the Jedi are in charge of the clones, but they're not really, unless they have to. We don't really actually see them use the Force like all that often, and this is one I feel like critique that I always have with this era of the Jedi is that we never see them, other than maybe Yoda and maybe Mace Windu, we never see them actually like meditating on their conflict or on their, decision making skills. It's all very tactical, like very like war driven, like military driven. We never see them like, oh, I'm gonna go, in the meditation chamber and meditate on what is the best course of action to whatever it is. So I think the disturbance of Maul coming back is heightened maybe because of that, because they're so kind of disconnected otherwise.
No, yeah, absolutely. They are disconnected. And that's the biggest problem that that Yoda says even to Ezra. The Jedi were wrong. Like in Rebels, he's like, we were clouded by our judgment, like we should never have joined this war. And I mean, just think about, well, last week we talked about how and even the last, it seems like season 4, like the underlining tone is a lot of things are happening because the Jedi are like because the Jedi are so ingrained in the war. A lot of things are being forgotten about, or people are taking advantage of that. And I think that's a huge thing because it does happen in real life if you think about it. I mean, there's so many things going on in the world that if we don't focus, something will fall through the cracks, and it usually always happens. Char, your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, it's just Maul and Asajj are. Well, Maul was once was like he said in this arc that he was the apprentice to the most powerful being in the galaxy. So sensing his return, I would think it would be pretty easy, but I think the Jedi would just be reluctant to believe it. They were like, wait, he's alive? Obi-Wan is like, because when Obi-Wan finds out at the very beginning of the next arc, he's like, I've killed him before, I can kill him again. And just it's the radiance of Maul and Asajj, because Asajj, obviously, because of what happened between him, Dooku, and Ventress a few arcs back, and their connection to the Force between Anakin and Dooku with those two characters it's very similar, because I think Anakin and Dooku are similar in many ways, but I feel like Anakin knowing that there's a dark force rising and Maul and Asajj coming back into the mix and coming back into the fray, it's just foreshadowing that they're going to cause some havoc. They're going to create an army, and then they're going to try to combat Sidious.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
essentially what they're doing. He's not just getting Obi-Wan's attention. He's trying to get his master's attention.
Mm.
No, yeah, absolutely. And in the end, spoiler alert, he does get it. He gets it a lot.
And yeah, that worked out for him.
Yeah, sort of. But
Picasso paintings.
yeah, but I like it, Picasso. Okay, so next question. Maul survives purely out of spite and his own anger. Obi-Wan, on the other hand, exists purely to bring light. How do these two characters act as opposites?
Well, I think, well, to phrase it like how the Revenge of the Sith novelization phrase it, how it's like Mace Windu has a secret love. It's the Republic. Obi-Wan's love, while not all that secret, is Anakin. Like
Yes.
that's his son, that's his brother. So what he always has that, and he doesn't view Anakin as a tool. Whether, on the other hand, Maul doesn't have that love in the same way. Like his brother is his brother, but he's also a tool for him to use. And that's why he makes it very clear as to like there's always a master and an apprentice, and I'm gonna bring you down to the level. Maul always needs to be dominating. There can't be an equal.
Yeah, and that's what Maul's pure existence is about. It's about being above everyone and growing in power to the point where he's in control of everything that he wants to have control of.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that to be very interesting. Yeah, Brooke?
I mean, yeah, I feel the same. I think Obi-Wan has always been very selfless.
Mhm.
Even when he was still like young and like learning from what we've seen from, Phantom Menace and Master and Apprentice, like he's always wanted to help people. So it's quite the opposite of Maul, who was in it to help himself. And I think despite everything that Obi-Wan has gone through, he doesn't hold it against anyone or hold it against like the world, whereas
Mhm.
Maul truly believes everything was taken from him, and he believes like the world owes him something, or Obi-Wan owes him something. So there's definitely lots of opposite kind of feelings, despite them both having similar tragedies in ways.
Yeah, and you make a good point there about how Maul takes out his frustration towards everything else, while Obi-Wan just harnesses it and does not use it to promote or provoke violence.
Mhm.
And that's essentially what Maul does all the time. He thinks outward, or he thinks inwards, and only wants to see what can benefit him rather than what can others benefit from it. So I
Mhm.
think that makes a really good point. Luke, do you have an opinion on that?
On the difference between Maul and Obi-Wan?
Yes.
Like Kris said earlier, like literally Obi-Wan has stuff to live for. Maul, he just lives on pure rage, and revenge is his only goal. Whereas Anakin is fighting for, or not Anakin, but Obi-Wan is fighting for his for the Republic, for Anakin, for all the other Jedi, for the Order. He has stuff that motivates him. The only thing that motivates Maul is just pure revenge and getting back to the top, and you can clearly see that in this arc. He's just trying to get back in the swing of things. But
yeah,
I was gone. Are we on to the next question?
Yes. I will ask question 4. So the last question for episode 1 is: there is an opinion that Obi-Wan can exist without Maul, but Maul cannot exist without Obi-Wan. What are your thoughts about this?
I think that the Clone Wars kind of shows us this to an extent, because when he, especially like in these episodes, he gets back his thirst for vengeance is the only thing that's driving him. And then as you go throughout the rest of the series, he takes over Mandalore, who, unbeknownst to him at the time, was the site of Obi-Wan's other love, being Satine. And then he takes it over, kills her, and like holds it in spite of Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So it's everything that Maul has lived for post getting cut in half was for Obi-Wan, essentially.
Because of Obi-Wan.
Because of Obi-Wan.
But yeah. Sorry, Kris.
No, you're good.
Brooke, your thoughts?
I think that's totally true. I feel like you can talk about hatred and love are very similar, very passionate feelings. The opposite of those things aren't the other. The opposite is indifference, and Obi-Wan has an indifference to Maul because he hasn't let the fact that Maul killed his master, like, he hasn't held that in. He hasn't blamed Maul or has sought like vengeance like Maul does on the other side, because Maul has this like extreme passionate hatred towards Obi-Wan, and we see that all the way through until the end in
No, yeah, absolutely. Char, your thoughts?
Why do you have to say my name twice, huh?
Because your name is Char J.
Just okay. But my thoughts are, it's like it's cool that Obi-Wan and Maul are somewhat intertwined in a way. And you see this a lot in Rebels too, when the Twin Sons episode happens, because of how long their battles between the two have go on throughout the timeline. Like in 32 BY, that's when Maul and him first meet, and then when you go to Rebels, which is it's 30 years later, you finally have them have their last confrontation. So this is a 30-year long battle between the two, and Maul just never gave up. But all it took was Obi-Wan to be not better than him, but wiser than him. That's all that he had to be. Because he knew that Maul was going to attack with anger and hate, but Obi-Wan was above that sort of thing. And he believes that the Jedi Order is calm, use your trust your instincts, be mindful of the living force, and he was able to taunt him with the Qui-Gon stance and the old Obi-Wan stance, and
his Alec Guinness.
Yeah. And like what Sam Witwer puts it at best is Maul is that high school bully that pulled up to the campfire on Tatooine, while Obi-Wan is this much more older, intelligent man. But when he sees that bully, he activated his old, high school self, and then he's like, "No, I'm Ben Kenobi." But he was like, "No, I'm not there yet. I'm Qui-Gon Jinn." So it's like, I love the dynamic between Maul and Obi-Wan. It's not because of the fact that it's a rivalry essentially, but it's like it's so emotional in some aspects of it too, by what Maul does, especially with what happens in the next season.
Yeah.
And this isn't exactly a new concept either, because there was a legend story which was always like phrased as not being canon in any really.
Are you talking about Old Wounds?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that one of your facts?
Oh no.
Okay,
no,
I was like, I don't want
to. No, all of this has to do with just within the show. Nothing is like outside source. Well, some of it, but it's like it's all parts of the show. So
yeah. So Star Wars Visionaries Old Wounds, where it takes place on Tatooine, probably close to like 2 or 3 ABY, because Luke is a toddler. I think he's 4, so maybe it's not ABY. Maybe it's like 15 BBY is what I meant. And Maul has like pretty much misses Obi-Wan at every step of the way throughout the things that happen in Revenge of the Sith and afterwards. And he says he knew that if he threatened Luke, that Obi-Wan would show himself. And he starts it by kicking the crap out of Owen. So, there's that. But Owen gets his revenge because he kills Maul. Because Obi-Wan hesitates to do it. Like, he has Maul dead to rights. He can just activate his lightsaber and it'll go right through Maul's head. And he just can't bring himself to do it. And here comes Owen with a rifle. Pow!
Wow. Uncle Owen trying to be a badass.
Hey, it worked.
It worked.
You shouldn't have hesitated the first time.
Yeah. And that'll be something that we'll have a little discussion about is Uncle Owen later. Because there was a new clip that came out. But I digress. My whole take on it is it's kind of like a yin and yang type of thing, but it's not at the same time. Like, Obi-Wan is so focused on Anakin, the Clone Wars, and everything else that after he thought that he killed Maul, like, that's it, I'm done. Like, he's not here. And then he pops back up, and it's just a recurring thorn in his side. And like, Obi-Wan's just like so focused on other things, and Maul doesn't become a priority until after this arc is over, which is interesting. But yeah. That is episode 1 of this arc. Char, episode 2.
All right, episode 2, season 4, episode 22, the final episode of season 4, Revenge. All right, am I doing Godfrey?
Kris. Yes.
God, I
All
really
right.
hope I don't. I have to get ready for this. Okay. Hopefully I don't cause a commotion. All right, ready?
All right, ready?
Brothers reunited! Darth Maul, the sinister Sith, thought to have been destroyed so many years ago by Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, was found alive by his brother, Asajj Opress, and taken back to Mother Talzin on Dathomir. Though Darth Maul's memory has yet to be fully restored, his need for vengeance has awakened, more powerful than ever. That was okay. That was fine. I didn't do full Godfrey mode, but that was sufficient. I hope I gave you what you wanted.
Hey, Char, how does Moralo Evolve feel about that?
Moralo Evolve does not feel satisfied with my reading of Revenge.
Oh my god.
I gotta do the Moralo Evolve walk. I am saddened that my good old buddy Reiko Hardin could not be here for this.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well.
Big deal in the Resistance.
Got that right.
Anyway. All right. So Maul mentioned that his path was darker than he ever expected. What do you think the path that he originally imagined looked like?
Well, I think it's just being by Palpatine's side
Yes.
as everything went down, because obviously he knew about the Clone Wars, because he's like, they started without me. And Maul says in the Phantom Menace, one of the few lines he actually has, he says, soon we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi, soon we will have revenge. So he was just expecting to be at Palpatine's side while everything went down. And then he literally got dropped into a hole, and kind of went a little crazy.
No, yeah. I mean, and also another question is, like, think about this: if he ends up killing Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, or he escapes, and Obi-Wan is still alive, like, think about the trajectory of what ends up happening. Like, do we think Dooku even becomes a thing? Do we think he's more of like, do you think he still gets the separatist movement going? Or is it just like, it makes you wonder what would actually happen if Maul would have survived that first meeting. Well, I mean, not survived, but like, you know what I mean? Like, he would have not been cut in half.
I think Palpatine had a plan the whole time. Maul seemed to be more like his muscle, and he needed someone to be more of like the face and like the brains of the Clone Wars. So I think it would have played out maybe similarly, but instead of Obi-Wan, it would have been just Palpatine getting rid of Maul
hmm
in place of Dooku.
Yeah, or pitting Dooku against Maul, and having Dooku take him out.
Yeah.
I think he would have killed Maul for failing on Naboo if he doesn't kill.
Yeah.
Like the fact that the Naboo invasion kind of failed, even if he did kill Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, he still lost. So
Yeah, that's true.
and treachery is the way of the Sith.
Yes, it is. Indeed. But like it just begs the question. It's just an interesting question because it's like, if he would have survived, yes, he knew everything, which makes sense. The way he says it, though, it's like, oh, they started without me, and it's like so sad and pathetic. You're just like, God damn it, dude! You just lose every time, just every time. Char, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Maul is a character that just you would never think that he would be able to survive. But knowing him, like his whole character, despite just looking at him, you knew that he would survive a whole entire slicing of his body. But yeah, I did not expect him to be this hermit on a garbage planet, and it's so weird seeing him in that position of being so powerless. And it's and I love how Asajj goes and talks to him. He's like, Maul is like, he's literally he's psycho. He's psycho right now.
Yeah.
Like, his anger is literally it's just in his mind 24/7. And then Asajj is like, no, you are my brother.
Yeah.
Come on, come home.
Yeah.
And then he's just crawling around everywhere, and he just doesn't know what to do. And like, if you were to predict the way that they were going to bring back Maul, you would have never predicted it, that he would be this spider beast monster in a garbage planet. Yeah. It seems so far-fetched, but that's what happened, and it ended up being a really good story. And I just love that seeing him in the Phantom Menace with Sidious is so different. It's night and day from how he is now in Clone Wars.
Oh yeah,
because now he's got to figure out, what do I got to do now? Because he was like Ventress. Ventress was always following somebody else's footsteps, but now he's the one in charge of his own destiny and his future. So it's interesting seeing how his path looked like.
No, yeah. Brooke, I think I cut you off a little bit earlier. Do you have any more other thoughts about the question? Because I feel like I cut you off.
No, I don't think so. I just think that, like, if he didn't die then, he was gonna bite it by someone else eventually. Even just like with the kind of person he is. He's just like very arrogant, and like that was his downfall. Every fight that he ever had, thinking he was too good for whoever he was his opponent, and then he would lose. So
yeah. Well, Maul is I'd just say he bites the dust a few times.
Yeah.
Just a few times.
I think it's funny. It's not funny, but it's just like interesting. Like when Asajj in the other episode, I forgot to mention this. Like Asajj shows up, and all like Darth Maul's just like he's like he's having a manic attack. Like he's just manic, and he starts singing Bagrava, and I'm like, is that like a Sith chant? Because that's some just strange shit. Just
Agrabah, isn't that where they went in Moon Knight?
I don't know. Agrabah?
Are you thinking Agrabah from Aladdin?
Yes, that's what it is. That's what it is.
That's right.
No. Maul and Asajj definitely didn't go there. That's for sure. They did not have Arabian Nights playing.
Maybe the Sith did. I don't know.
Oh.
You know that.
Sure, go ahead and ask the second question.
All right. So the second question for episode 2 is, Maul knew exactly how to get the Jedi's attention. How does this play into the Jedi's fault? What does this say about his knowledge of the Jedi?
I mean, Sidious taught him how the Jedi think, and he wasn't wrong. Maul was at least a B plus student because he learned something, and he got the Jedi's attention. I think the Jedi are just dumb for just sending Obi-Wan and just playing into what Maul said, because send Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan confirms that he's there with Savage. Then here comes like Mace and Yoda just riding down. They capture Maul.
Mm-hmm.
Clone Wars goes a totally different direction.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what happened in the Phantom Menace. Like, the Jedi Council found out that the Sith have returned, and then they just send Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan to go deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wait, why don't you like send a few more? Like,
Mhm.
don't you want them done? Don't you want them gone?
Yeah.
Send one council member. That's all you need. Just send one. Send Mace.
Yep. Brooke, your thoughts?
Yeah, it seems just like an oversight of the Jedi, and maybe it's telling of where the Jedi were at this point of time in the galaxy. Because I truly think that they either thought that they were capable of handling a Sith Lord, or that they just didn't believe that a Sith Lord could potentially gain power when they're present. Like when they're I feel like they thought that they were such a presence and so strong in the galaxy that there's no way that they would let like something like a Sith Lord get by them without noticing. But at the same time, it's like there are people telling you that there are friggin' Sith Lords, and they're like,
we'll believe it when we see it.
Yeah, and so we were talking about this last night. I'm like, you didn't have to send clone troopers with Obi-Wan. Like, send 3 other Jedi.
Yeah.
And it probably would have been okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
In the next episode, they send just Obi-Wan and Adi Gallia. And yes, Adi Gallia is on the, council, and you just kill her for like the 3rd time in Legends and canon. But you just gotta. It's like her and Shakti are competing with who gets the most deaths.
Yeah, that's so true.
Shakti wins, but it's just like that Maul was trained under the Sith Lord. You don't know really much anything about him. You don't believe what Dooku said, that he was in control of the Senate.
Yeah.
And Mace even says it, like, this is this is too important for just Obi-Wan to be sent alone. And Yoda's just like, oh, an ally he will, an unexpected one. And then if Obi-Wan came back, I would have been Mace looking at Yoda like let's send a few more next time, because it's not just and Palpatine says in the next episode, oh, it's not a Republic issue, and we know why he says that, but it's like kind of is.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. It's just come on, let's think about this logically. But like seeing Maul just take out, like, cut 5 people's heads off at once.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, that's just, he still got it. That's for sure.
Brutality.
Yeah, seriously. Char, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, Maul just knows how to just cause fear in everybody. The whole reason that he knew how to get to the Jedi's attention is because of their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And Maul just simply tinkered with it and was like, what's a good way to get the Jedi's attention? Oh yeah, I'll just decapitate 5 civilians right here. And they're like, oh, okay, so this is a problem. He didn't just come back and just went to the coffee shop. No, he's over here killing people. So it's a lot of the times you have to be aware of what Maul is trying to do, because Maul is he just wants vengeance on Kenobi. That's all he wants.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care about anything else at the moment. He just wants Kenobi, and he will kill hundreds of people, if not even more, just to get his attention.
Yep.
Because that's what that's Maul's character. He will do anything possible to get in touch with the guy that took him away from power, which was Kenobi. And I just think that it was low-key brilliant that he went and started massacring people just to get attention of one Jedi. Like that's like the Maul mentality.
No, yeah, not the Mamba mentality, the Maul
I-
mentality.
Yeah, it's the Maul mentality. No, it's not the yeah.
I also wonder though, when did Maul learn Obi-Wan's name?
Yeah, that is a good point.
Because he just knows. He's just like Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan
Kenobi.
Kenobi. Just like, interesting. I mean, he would have had to do some research, and Palpatine
Well,
probably
maybe he
would have.
watched the movie.
Yeah. Palpatine definitely probably gave him info on who the two Jedi were.
Mm.
So that's probably how he knows the names. From a canon logic aspect.
Nah, he watched the
I
Phantom
gutted
Menace and he
your
was critiquing
master.
his fighting style.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
I'm so surprised you could forget me so easily after I gutted your master.
Master.
It is you.
No, yeah, absolutely. Char, last question in episode 2.
I asked the recent question.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay,
Yeah, I
never
did.
mind. Sorry. The Battle of Naboo was a turning point in Obi-Wan's life. How do you think seeing Maul again affected him, and what type of memories do you think it invoked, and how did the drop of Qui-Gon's name affect him? Kris kind of mentioned it just now, so it's a good segue. Brooke, what are your thoughts? I'm going to start with you first.
I mean, he was definitely like surprised to see that Maul was back, and I'm sure anything like that is going to bring back some sort of emotion, no matter how like good of a Jedi you are.
Mm-hmm.
I think he handled himself okay, like when he actually went to Maul, because he Maul was like taunting him about like, oh, I can feel your anger and your rage, and it's like Obi-Wan wasn't actually displaying any of those qualities. I think Maul was just trying to get to him.
Yep.
So I think him going by himself was dumb.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
that just, I think, is part of Obi-Wan's character. He didn't want to risk anyone else getting hurt for a problem that I think he probably put on himself. He was like, the only reason Maul is back and doing this is to get to me. I should be the one to fix it.
No, yeah, absolutely, and he does say that. He's like, I have fought him before. Like, I should be the one to go. Which, again, think about it, fits Obi-Wan's character perfectly because he blames himself for a lot of the things that happens, not only to Maul, but to Anakin as well. He takes a lot of blame for a lot of things, and that's going to be something that we see a lot in Kenobi. And yeah, I'm really excited to jump into that. But Kris, your thoughts?
Yeah, we get a rare flash of Obi-Wan being angry.
Yes.
That didn't even happen in Revenge of the Sith, mostly because he was so heartbroken. But Obi-Wan and Maul called him out on it. He's like, "You're unbalanced. Your anger has made you unbalanced," which is why the next time he fights Maul and Asajj, he is able to best him because he is balanced. And I think that would be jarring for anyone. It's just like, granted, Obi-Wan wasn't a kid when he fought Maul the first time, but it's been 11 years or so. So you went from being a son figure to being a father figure, and you think you've grown so much, and then here's someone to really put you back into that sort of Padawan-like mentality. And I don't think he was prepared for that. I don't know how anyone could be.
No. And I mean, also, like, and I believe it's this episode that Ventress shows up, right? Or is it the next one? This one?
It's
Okay.
it's 2, yeah.
Okay. So 3 of us have read Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Brooke
Who
has
hasn't read
not.
Brotherhood?
Brooke has not finished. Have you started it or?
No, I'm starting it on the airplane tomorrow.
Good. Without, I don't know if I can bring up this question without. No, I can. There's nothing spoiler here. Okay, so what do we think of Asajj Ventress's relationship with Obi-Wan at this point from when they first met in Brotherhood?
It's very different. It is very different because in the book, Ventress is new, but she's aware of Kenobi. She's aware of, oh, he's not very up to speed that I like, and it's funny to see because Ventress in this arc and Ventress in Brotherhood are vastly different. Because
Yeah.
at this time, Ventress in Brotherhood is a rookie, and this time, Ventress is a bounty hunter. So
Yeah.
it's like comparing the two is different, but the dynamic
Just the
between
growth,
Ventress and
though.
Kenobi is like it's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool to see them like
Yeah.
working together.
Yeah, it's very growth, like the growth of her from like her in Brotherhood to where but she still has that like jab. She still has those like witty things, even when she's in some of the things that she says to him in Brotherhood. She's witty, and then she's witty with him here now when he says, "Oh, Kenobi, don't tell me somebody's finally beaten you up," and then she slaps him across the face, and I'm just like,
Wake up!
wake up.
It's like, oh, what a face to look up to, wake up to. And he's like, you're not so hot to look at either. It's just like, well, now, this is her dear Obi-Wan, so she can say things like that.
Oh, Luke, you know, it'd be an amazing idea at Celebration.
What?
Say if you're the day you're wearing your cosplay and you come across a Ventress cosplayer, and then you pose, have your lightsaber turn red, and just say, "Red's not my color."
Red's not my color.
I feel like that would be so perfect.
No, yeah,
Unintentionally.
it would be really funny. But yeah, it's just the growth between these two characters. Brooke, you've heard me talk about it. You will love this book. This is gonna be.
The book is fantastic.
I think it'll be one of your favorite books that you've read so far. It's up there with Dark Disciple, and it's up there. It's above both Dark Disciple and Master and Apprentice. But that's me being biased as hell.
No
But-
way.
Yeah, no way. Not about Anakin and Obi-Wan. Never.
Yeah, Luke, we got to talk more about Brotherhood because the ending of the
Yeah.
book just put a huge smile on my face.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Char, let's get into this last episode.
All right. So, season 5, episode 1, titled Revival. Is this the first arc or the only arc in Clone Wars where it's like the
It's split up
seasons
in 2
are-
seasons, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's super cool, especially for a Darth Maul return. All right.
Yep.
So, I could do Godfried here, but I'm not going to do that.
Oh,
I
why
shouldn't
not?
have said that. Because I've already used up my.
Chris is gone.
I've
so
already fired my one salvo for Godfried. My
Okay.
Godfried salvo.
all right,
right.
you get one every episode.
All right, season 5, episode 1, Revival. Death and destruction. Darth Maul and Savage Opress spread chaos as they descend on the Outer Rim. After rescuing his brother from despair, Savage and Maul murder and pillage at every turn. Fueled by rage and vengeance, they search for meaning in their new alliance as reports of their brutal attacks spread across the galaxy. That was
Very
me.
nice, very nice,
I
very
think Harris
nice.
have to critique me.
No, Harris will critique anything that you do, so it's
Yeah.
okay. So I guess I will start with the first question. Hold on. I gotta get
Actually,
to it
I'll
first.
start with the first question.
Yeah, you start with the first question. You're
Yeah,
more
because you
prepared
get
than
the
I am.
last one. Okay. So the
Okay.
first question of this episode is Maul takes Savage on as his apprentice. Do you think he saw an actual promise within him, or do you rather think that he played upon his loyalty to him?
I think it's the latter.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said when we were talking about earlier, I think Savage had more connection to the Knight brothers, Dathomir, than Maul really did, because Maul was taken as a child, and was, corrupted from the beginning. So I think everything he had was coming from selfish purposes.
Mm-hmm. I definitely see that because I think that Maul was just using him for his brute force.
Yes.
But I mean, he was the same species as him, and they were quote unquote brothers by, not by like sibling wise, but night brothers. But I think that he simply just wanted to be with Savage because Savage was his ticket out of there. And Savage was the reason why Maul got off of Lawful Minor. So I
Yep.
think it was just like maybe like a little a little payoff for like,
Yes.
hey, thank you for saving me. I will train you, but
Yeah.
I don't rely on you. But you
yeah.
find this out later in season 5 that he actually did care about Savage.
Yes, you
Mhm.
do. Yeah. I think it's very important. I also think it's the latter. Because Maul has been on his own up until this point, and he survived. He looks at Savage at this point in the in this part of the arc as yes, I see potential, but I also don't get it twisted now. You are still below me. We are not equals.
Mm-hmm.
We are not equals. Kris, so the question, Char, repeat the question for Kris.
The question was, Maul takes Savage on as his I always botch that. Maul takes Savage on as his apprentice. Do you think that he saw an actual promise within him, or do you rather think that he played upon his loyalty to him?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Mhm.
Where he does see promise in Savage, but it's more like how Palpatine saw promise in him.
Mhm.
You're only going to be a tool. I'm not actually going to pass on any worthwhile knowledge. You
That
know,
makes sense. Yeah.
and it also goes back to, well, goes back, but goes forward to what Obi-Wan says to him in Rebels and Twin Sons. He said, if you define yourself by your power to take life, the desire to dominate, to possess, then you have nothing. And that's all Maul's trying to do here, is to dominate Savage and then to take revenge on Kenobi.
No, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think that's a good way to sum it up. For that question.
Yeah, Luke, go ahead and ask question 2.
So in this episode, we get good old Hondo Anaka. It's always good to see good old Hondo. So Hondo and Obi-Wan have a long and complicated relationship. What was your reaction to seeing them interact again? If Obi-Wan needed help, do you think Hondo would actually come to his aid? And vice versa? Kenobi.
It's always fun to see Hondo. Hondo's a fun character. But one thing that Hondo does have is honor. So
For the most part,
yeah,
as a pirate.
yeah. Well, as far as pirates are concerned, whereas even Hondo considered Obi-Wan a friend when he's talking to Ezra in Rebels. And I think that if you do right by Hondo, Hondo for the most part will do right by you.
Yeah, I feel that. Now here's the other. Here's another question, and Brooke can answer this as well. Do we think we could get a Hondo cameo in the Kenobi show?
I don't know, because it wouldn't make it. I mean, he could always act like he's dead to sort of keep him hidden, but I don't see a point in him and Obi-Wan interacting unless it's a flashback.
Yeah.
I see him appearing more in like Mando season 3, if anything.
Oh, yes. Yes, I would love that. I want to see them go to Batu in Mando, to be honest.
No, they're going to show up on the Halcyon Star Cruiser.
Ooh, my God.
Got to get that product placement in.
Yeah, seriously.
Hell yeah.
But Brooke, your thoughts on the question? Would Hondo help Obi-Wan and vice versa?
I think Obi-Wan would help because it doesn't matter really who it is. He's always trying to help people. Hondo, I think it would take more coaxing and maybe more Like he would kind of be a little bit more like, what's in it for me first. But
Mhm.
I mean, from seeing him in Rebels too, we know that at some point he knows to do the right thing. So I think if the circumstances were dire, that they would help each other out.
Yep. Char, your thoughts on good old Honda Naka?
I think they both would help each other, in my opinion, because Hondo is that guy that we first see, and he's a little bit rough on the edges, but then he softens up a little bit, especially with Katuni, the Lothian
Yes.
youngling.
Which Brooke will be on for that arc.
Yeah, I think that he, as the Clone Wars goes on, he softens up about a lot of things, and just seeing because after that arc with Obi-Wan and him, he's like, "That is a heinous accusation. I am gone. I'm gone."
Yeah.
But anytime seeing Hondo is just amazing. I love Hondo. He just brings me life, and I think Obi-Wan and him do have a very strong dynamic when it comes to solving problems and profit, of course. And because Obi-Wan sees stopping Maul as profit, and Hondo sees, what is profit? Money, if you couldn't guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think they would both help each other. I think so.
I think Hondo deep down would help Obi-Wan if he was in a punch, and obviously Obi-Wan is already known to do that as well. But yeah, Char.
All right, the third
your
question is, so there's a lot of conflict going on so far, and so this episode shows that many people throughout the galaxy do not understand the difference between Jedi and Sith. How do you think this plays into the larger idea of the war and Palpatine's overall plan? How do you interpret the galaxy's perception of the Jedi?
Well, I think, the Sith haven't really existed for 1,000 years, so no one is really going to be alive that is able to say, like, this is what the Sith are, because even in the Separatist realm, the Jedi saying that Dooku is no longer a Jedi, that he's a Sith, they say that, oh, that's Republic propaganda. So if you're just, caught up in the midst of a war as a normal citizen, will that really matter to you?
Yep.
Because even if, Dooku is a Sith, he's preaching about, corruption in the Republic and how we need to be free of that and everything like that. So it's like, okay, are the Sith really that bad of guys? But, and then here are the Jedi tearing up my home world with a bunch of clones. Like, what the hell, guys?
No, yeah. It's very blurred lines, because I mean, even in this episode, they're like, "Oh, can you activate that lightsaber thing for me?" And it's like, Obi-Wan turns on his lightsaber, and I was like, "Oh no! It looks like the droids were saying that they were red lightsabers, not blue." And he's like, "That's because those are Sith." And he's like, "Oh well, don't know really the difference." And it's just like so true on like a everyday citizen level. Like the Jedi, yes, they kind of have this notion of them, but like whenever they see a lightsaber, it doesn't matter what color it is, they automatically go to Jedi. Because the Sith, remember, the Sith haven't been seen in over a millennia. And it's just it's a lot. So from the common person's perspective, it would be easy to get those two mixed up if you aren't really paying attention or don't really know what's going on in the galaxy at this point. Brooke, your thoughts?
Yeah, it reminds me of chapter 15 of The Mandalorian, where Bill Burr's character is like, doesn't really matter to these people who's in charge, because their life is crap either way. So I feel like a lot of the citizens of the planets that the majority of the fighting is on doesn't give a shit who's in charge or who's winning the war, because no matter what, their planet's being destroyed and people are dying.
Yeah, that's true. Trey, your thoughts?
Yeah, Luke, just like what you said earlier, a lot of people don't understand the difference between the two because they haven't seen the Sith. They don't know their ideals. They don't know what they aim to be or what they stand for. They just see someone with a lightsaber very similar to a Jedi, and they claim it to be a Jedi, but they're polar opposites. They do follow the same type of power. They do have the same kind of powers as the Jedi and Sith do, but their goals and their ideals are vastly different.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that just and it's because Palpatine's plan overall, because when you see this in during the era of the Empire, the Jedi are tarnished. The Sith are not looked upon as bad people, but a lot of people don't know that Palpatine is a Sith.
Yep.
And then it's just a lot of the public, like the public ideals of what is a Jedi, what is a Sith. They are told that the Jedi are terrible because they tried to kill the Chancellor. That's essentially what happened right when Palpatine turned the Republic into the Empire. They had this. They made it out to be that the Jedi are evil, and they tried to kill the leader of the Republic. So it's like, of course, like the person that's in charge of the galaxy is the one that's essentially the one that turns on them and says that the Jedi are actually assholes. They don't believe in anything. They don't follow anything. They don't care about anyone. And yeah, he just tarnished them, and it worked perfectly in Palpatine's plan.
No, yep, absolutely. Always weaving, always scheming. That's Palpatine's motto. But for the last question of this arc, how do you think that Obi-Wan has changed since his very first battle with Maul in the Phantom Menace? What changed within him, and what was it, his ability or his faith in himself, or both?
Both.
I would agree.
I mean, it's been 10 years. He's not a Padawan anymore. He's had to train his own Padawan. So there's a lot of maturing that happens with that, as we've seen with Anakin and Ahsoka.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree, because, if this was while he was training Anakin, then that faith in himself may not have been there, because he kept always second guessing himself with how he was doing with Anakin.
Yep.
But at this point, no. General Kenobi is more sure of himself, his straight up half truths and hyperboles. And and obviously his ability as a negotiator, as a tactician is up there as well.
No, yeah. I mean, even looking at the fight, like he's like Savage takes out Odigalia, and Obi-Wan gets trapped with both Sith, and you can tell, because the best part about this fight is that he's constantly kicking that knee. He takes advantage of Savage's like big physique, and he uses that against him every single time. He just like keeps going at that knee, and it's very, very compelling, because when he finally hits him for the last time and then cuts off his arm, like Obi-Wan literally like, I don't think Padawan Obi-Wan would have been able to do that. All the experience, all the knowledge, everything that he's learned from training Anakin, and also kind of being there with Ahsoka and all of his experiences really helped him out in that saber fight and in general. Char, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, Maul, I would say Obi-Wan, I'd say it's more of his ability rather than his faith. I can see it as both, but it's been 10 years since he last fought Maul. So his powers have grown a lot. His intelligence has developed a lot. And since he is now a member on the Jedi Council, he has a chair on the council now. He's much wiser. It's not just his ability or his faith, this is his intelligence, his wit, his ability to see around situations, with him being stuck in that cave with them and finding a way to handle them both, but also be able to divert their attention with the pirates. So I think that it's more of his ability than his faith, but he does have a lot of faith in himself. It's not just strictly towards Anakin, his training towards Anakin, but the fact that he sees Maul and he's like, okay, I've defeated you once before, I can defeat you again.
Mm-hmm.
And he ends up doing so later on in the episode. I mean, right after he says that quote, it doesn't necessarily happen, but yeah, he does get the upper hand over them, and it's a lot of it has to do with his ability to fight, figure out solutions without, the least amount of casualties possible, and just finding the easy way to settle a conflict rather than having to deal with. I mean, there was the death of Adigalia, unfortunately, but he did find a way to lure him away.
Yep. Absolutely. That is going to do it for the episode. Char, you have your 3 interesting facts.
I do. How about I just delete them right now? I'm kidding. Okay.
Or should we have Brooke do the 3 interesting facts like intro and then have you do?
Wait,
Because she does really well. She does it really well. She does the, she does the intro for us.
I'm kind of interested to hear it.
Oh no. Okay. 3 interesting facts that you didn't know about the Clone Wars. Maul gains a new dick arc. Episode 46. Fact 1.
Sorry, now go.
Part 28. Fact 1.
Then?
The red color card. To signify that these episodes are momentous and to pay tribute to Darth Maul and his intensity, the opening logo is red and in Brothers and Revenge rather than the traditional yellow. Fact 2. Multiple bounties. Among the bounties listed are Nim Mindben, a Sinatine wanted dead for 120,000 credits for kidnapping, theft, and murder. Omar Toggs, a Rhodian, wanted dead or alive for 75,000 credits for racketeering and extortion. And Zug Tasik, a Trandoshan, wanted dead or alive for 800,000 credits for mass murder. Though the hunters say Asajj is worth 1 million credits, his on-screen bounty only lists 550,000. His warrant lists fleeing the scene of a crime. Fact 3. The turtle tank design. The turtle tank design was inspired by Dave Filoni's pet turtle, Goji. And there you have it. Those are the 3 interesting facts about the Maul Has a what arc?
Maul gains a new dick. That's what your doc says.
That arc.
Yeah, thanks, not a Kyber. I completely forgot to change it, but I thought it was hilarious, so I just kept it.
Keep it.
Yeah, keep it. All right, so
Papa's got a brand new dick.
So as always, we always rank the arc. Since we have recurring guests, I'm not gonna go through a whole spiel. Chat, go through, since this will be a live premiere. We'll want to see what you guys think of the episode. But I'm going to start with Brooke. What's your ranking?
I will give this one, and I feel like, so I didn't watch Clone Wars when it was coming out. But if I were to put myself in the position of watching it when it came out, I would definitely give it like Jedi Master. Just because like Maul was someone we never thought that we would see again. We thought he was just like a 1 movie villain, and they really brought him back with like a lot more depth and nuance to his character that I don't think expected.
Yeah. Kris?
I'm gonna go with Jedi Master.
I mean, there's not a lot of arcs that have gotten less than a Jedi Master lately. So I feel like that's good.
Because like I said, Luke, like everything after season 3 just kicks it up a notch. Like it's vastly different than, because once season 3 starts, everything afterwards, it has a bunch of Grandmaster arcs, Sigeria, Mortis, Obi-Wan Undercover. You have
Umbara.
You have Umbara. You have so many great arcs once season 3 hits and onwards. So yeah, there will be a lot of Jedi Master arcs.
No, yeah.
For a lot of TV shows, seasons 4 and 5, if they get there, is when like the cast really gets to gel and the writers know where things are going. So makes sense.
No, yeah, absolutely. Char, your ranking?
I'm gonna give this a Jedi Master because, like what Brooke said, I did see this on Cartoon Network when I was a kid, and I just remember being so surprised that Dave Filoni brought him back from the dead. I was like, dude, Maul was one of my favorite characters and still is, and seeing him being brought back into the action with new legs and a new, I love how I say witches are bad bitches, but I can't. I'm not going to say that. But
You
it's
can't say
funny.
dick.
But dick, whatever.
Is it in a box?
No.
But does that reference go over your
Yes.
head? Are you too young
No,
for that?
no, I got that reference.
I know. I get the reference.
Lonely
There's a
Island.
dick in the box.
It's in a box.
There
Not
it is.
gonna
But-
get you a diamond ring.
I think that this show, this episode, or that episode, I
think
think
I-
this
I think I
arc
found
brought
my
back a
karaoke.
very good story to bring back for Darth Maul, because it's not just that, oh, he survived, whoa, he's cool. No, they gave him a story, and I'm so excited to cover this later down the road, because we have 2 more seasons of Maul, and it's going to be amazing.
No, yep, absolutely. I will also give it a Grandmaster. Maul's not my
Cool.
favorite character, but I really liked his character development.
Also a Grandmaster. That's the only Grandmaster.
Oh, I mean, Jedi Master. Yeah, sorry, not Grandmaster.
Hey, if you wanted to be a Grandmaster, go ahead. It's
No, Jedi
No
Master.
judgment.
No, Jedi Master. I really liked Maul's development, character development, especially since the last time we saw him was in episode 1. So even better, we got more of it. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the arc. We're gonna get into Star Wars news. Some of the things are gonna be a little backwards, because I know there's going to be news coming out from Celebration that we won't be able to cover on the show, but we will be covering it.
How about we just make bold predictions, and if it does happen, then we'll be like, all right, yeah, we knew it.
We will. But I've got a story. I've got a story that just dropped, like literally probably an hour ago.
Yeah, but let's see it.
But I will. Let me get the banner up first, and we'll get to it. Oh crap, I left the dang
The
it.
what?
That was up the entire time. That's okay. It'll be fine. Okay, so
Wait,
in an
what?
interview,
Okay.
Deborah Chow was talking to Gizmodo. And she was talking about the importance of Obi-Wan realizing that Anakin survived. I want all of your guys' thoughts after I'm done with this quote. So, the quote starts off, Obi-Wan believes he killed Anakin at the end of Revenge of the Sith. I think that's something that's sometimes a little bit overlooked, but it's quite significant. So for us on the show, he doesn't know Anakin is alive yet. One of the biggest questions head writer Joby Harold and I were always asking is, how did he go from the end of Revenge of the Sith, where he's this warrior screaming on the banks of Mustafar, to sort of the calm and peace of Alec Guinness? Something obviously happened in that 20 years, and in large part, that's the story we're trying to tell. Okay, so now hearing that, this will come out on before the premieres of episodes 1 and 2. After hearing that, it just gets me more hope and amped up that I love that Deborah Chow is doing this, and I love that she was involved in the writing of the story. Because a lot of times directors will put in their input with the writing, but it doesn't always happen. But I feel like with Deborah, it is going to happen quite a bit, because they are letting her be more hands-on. After hearing that, what do you really expect to see from that relationship that we're going to see between Obi-Wan and then him finding out about Anakin surviving and all of that?
I'm expecting nothing. I will
Good.
just wait and see.
Good for you. Good for you, Kris.
Facts.
Good for you. Good for you. I think it's going to be interesting. I don't expect a ton, but it does get me really excited that they really, really thought hard about this. Because I mean, there's a 20-year gap between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, and like getting this story in between is going to be very, very important. So I'm glad that we're getting it. So talking about Kenobi, we will all be at Star Wars Celebration. Out of all of the panels, what are we most excited to see at Star Wars Celebration?
Jedi Fallen Order news on a panel that's not happening.
I think you're gonna get it though.
Hopefully.
I don't know. Probably the Marvel Star Wars comic one. Although they did announce that Kevin Scott, what he was doing in Star Wars, whatever the weekly show is called. I'm still having hope for a Jedi Finn comic or just a Finn comic.
I think that's very possible. Let's get some post sequel content through either. Well, I mean, obviously we're getting Shadows of the Sith that's set during the original, like after the original trilogy. In the would you technically say it's in the Mando?
Mm-mm. It's 12 years after Mando, so at this point we're
in
the
sequel territory.
We're in the New Republic era, whether you want to call that sequel content or Mando content. I think it's pretty close to sequel content.
Yeah, because 21 ABY, I think that's the year when the First Order starts to actually rise to power.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's. I'm looking forward to the Thursday. The one that starts off with the live action, and I'm really, really hopeful that we all get into that panel because it's gonna be freaking electric.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be so awesome. But what are your guys' plans for Celebration? I know us as a group, we have a ton planned. But like, what are you most excited to do while you're there? Whether it's meet your online friends now, or just like hanging out. What are you looking forward most to doing?
Besides meeting you people and just being like, hey, you're real. I'm going to have a list of questions for Adam Christopher regarding Shadows of the Sith, and just sort of live at his table and be like, these people don't know, but I do. Here's a document. Write the answers. I won't tell anyone.
No, yeah, because you got that book real early.
Mm-hmm.
You got it before even they were giving out official arcs.
That's what it seems like.
Go, Kris. Go, Kris. Brooke, what are you looking forward to most?
I mean, I'm excited for everything, but I'm really excited to go to Disneyland for the first time. I get to go twice, so that'll be fun. I get to hopefully be able to do everything, see Avengers Campus, like something not Star Wars, but
Wait, Brooke, what days are you going? Because I know you're going Wednesday, so
Tuesday too.
Oh, you're going back-to-back days? Okay,
Nice.
Yeah, because you'll be there starting tomorrow.
Right? My flight is at 6:30 tomorrow morning.
Nice.
Yeah, but
nice.
I'm excited to finally like go to a con again and like dress up
with all of us,
with everyone. It'll be fun because I've only ever been to a con with like one or two other people. So being with a big group and like seeing everyone cosplaying and being able to actually like take group photos will be really fun. I know there's a group photo like Jedi Fallen Order cosplay meetup one day, so that'll be really cool. I really want to give Mike Chen a Obi-Wan mullet fan club sticker.
Yes,
since he really pushed for the mullet to stay in Brotherhood. But yeah, I'm just excited to leave my house.
Yeah, same. I think that's the thing I'm looking forward to. Obviously, meeting everybody that we've had on the podcast and everybody that I've met online, and getting to do the trivia tournament, the championship live. I think it'll be fun, and then reacting to Obi-Wan with everybody will be just fantastic. And then meeting you guys specifically, and Marjay Skywalker, and it's just gonna be so much fun, and this community is so great, and to finally meet the faces in real life, the people that push a lot of the positivity and make great content and make great products like Brooke. It's just going to be so much fun, and I can't wait to grow these friendships that we've made through the podcast and through this community. So that's the thing that I'm looking forward to, and obviously meeting Char, which
and you meeting Ewan McGregor.
and
and
meeting you,
and me meeting Timwara Morrison.
yeah. And I'm already seeing people putting Obi-Wan the Kenobi cosplays together on TikTok. I'm not gonna I'm definitely not gonna say that I was one of the first, but I think I was one of the first. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. But it's gonna be interesting. What days are y'all cosplaying?
I think Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
I'm doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I am doing Friday, Saturday, and so in Charge is doing Saturday. So, if you're watching this and you're at Celebration, don't be afraid to come up to any of us. We'll all be in a group. We would love to say
I will
hi.
fight you.
No, you're not gonna fight anybody. Stop saying that. God damn it! Stop it.
Don't worry, Char. We'll have Kylie keep you in line.
Yes. and maybe this
That
time we will teach Char how to boil water.
No. This is off podcast stuff right here, okay?
No, if it's on there, it's gonna stay in there. But that's gonna be it for an episode, guys. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for coming on, Brooke and Kris. Brooke, where can the good people follow you?
Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok _ _bedazzler_ farfarawayfactory.com
Go get it
for cool stuff. Give me your money because I'm gonna be broke after this trip.
Yep, same here. Kris, where can the good people follow you on the social media?
I am Starwarslawyer on TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And I also have a podcast, Too Black, Too Nerdy, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Heck yes. Char, where can the good people follow you?
Good people, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at CharCharJ, and you can find me here at the Pod Ones podcast every Thursday night to cover our Clone Wars rewatch. After you see this arc, we will be covering
the second the Onderon
arc. Yes, we'll be covering the Onderon arc with Saw and Stila Guerrera, and I'm excited to do that.
No, yeah, absolutely. And you can follow us on me, but Char is also involved on the social medias with our stuff. The Pod Ones podcast on TikTok, Pod Ones podcast on Twitter, and the Pod Ones pod on Instagram. I always screw this part up. You think I would have it down now, but I don't. I would personally just like to thank everybody in the community. Star Wars Celebration is a big goal of ours, and the fact that we're able to do it is going to be awesome. So again, if you are at Star Wars Celebration and you are one of our fans, come say hi to us. We would love to interact with everybody. I can't wait to see everybody there. And that's going to be it for us, for Light and for Life.
We are all the Republic.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.